Hi there and welcome to episode 1 of the Business Beyond Ubecast. My name is Craig Hopper and I'm an entrepreneur, an author, a father, a carer, a pretty slow runner and also a teller of really atrocious dad jokes. I'm also the founder of the Hopper Method. I help you super busy business owners work less, earn more and live the life that you want by building a business beyond you. Now in this very first episode of the Business Beyond You podcast, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I was able to business beyond me, but also explore what it is that's getting in the way of you getting what you want out of your business. Who hears whole expression, time is money, or money is time? We've been taught all the way that you have to trade the one off against the other, right? For example, when you're young, you have lots of time, but probably no money. Now, in the middle of your career or in the middle of owning your business, which is probably where you are right now, hopefully, you've got a reasonable amount of money. Everybody can do with more, but you're making some money, but you have no time. Now, you can buy back time by paying someone else to do stuff for you, but that reduces the amount of money that you're making in your business. Then later on in life, when you retire, you have lots of time. But statistically speaking, most people don't actually have a whole lot of money when they retire. Some people, they're lucky or successful or both. They can have both. But do you really want to wait till you're 67, 70 or something like that and hope that everything goes really well so that you can have both time and money? But what if I said that it doesn't have to be like that? What if I could help you work less without sacrificing income? What if you could actually work less and earn more? That would be life-changing, wouldn't it? What would that mean for you? What would you do if you had both time and money? That's what this is all about. That's what building a business beyond you is all about. Now, after a long and winding and rather painful journey, I managed to reduce my working hours in my business to 2 per week at the same time as my business has never been more profitable. Now, first of all, I need to share with you, this is not a simple drop shipping business or something like that. Nope. I own a number of yoga studios. I have 4 staff working for me. I have over 30 teachers teaching classes for me. I get about 1,500 students a week through my studios. They operate 7 days a week. The first class is at 6 a.m. in the morning. The last class finishes at 8:45 p.m. So this is a busy business with lots of moving parts. Yet still, I'm able to work 2 hours or less per week. In fact, some weeks I don't even have to go in. How did I do that? I will share that with you very shortly. But first of all, I do need to help you understand why I think time is the most important and most valuable thing that we have. I learned about the value of time the hard way. In 2018, my beautiful and fit and healthy wife headed out for a run after dropping our kids off at school and suffered a heart attack. I'm not going to go through all the horrible story or the detail behind that. If you really want to know, I do have a book which is available on Amazon called Everyday Bravery that goes through that harrowing journey. She survived, but after a really torrid and challenging resuscitation and very long stay in hospital, we found out that she had suffered significant brain damage and she now receives a lot of care. And that is just the saddest thing in the world for her, for our 3 beautiful boys, and for me. All of a sudden on that day in 2018, I became effectively a single parent, a carer for my disabled wife, and also the sole breadwinner for our family. So time was absolutely the biggest challenge I had, but all the things that we had planned to do as a couple or as a family that we had not done by the 6th of August 2018, we'll never get to do, certainly not in the way that we hoped to be able to do them. So do I regret some of the things that we never did before that date? Do I regret making some of the decisions that I did before that to put off things till later? Yeah, I really do. But I can't undo that. All I can do is move forward, and that's what we've had to do. But I now have a completely different appreciation of time. So having found myself in this situation in 2018, I at that stage had a pretty successful corporate career with a pretty responsible job. I found it really tough to juggle the needs of my job. I used to travel a lot overseas, US, Europe, Asia, all sorts of stuff like that. That was completely off. I couldn't travel anymore, and this was pre-COVID, so before the Zoom or the Teams revolution. If I was going to be able to support my family with the time and care that they needed at the same time as provide for them as the sole breadwinner for the family, unfortunately my wife had her own business, but she didn't have the right kind of income protection insurance. I'm it when it comes to earning money for all of us. So in order to be able to take care of all of that, I actually took the counterintuitive decision to buy a business, and that's when I got into the yoga business. I did that in 2019. I took over in October 2019. Things went really well until something called COVID happened. All this is in my book. I'm not going to go through the roller coaster that came over the next kind of couple of years, but things were pretty tight for quite a while, and not just once, but a couple of times. But we got through the 2 different lockdowns, we pivoted, went online, some of that actually went really well. But I do want to tell you about the 2nd of December 2021. That was the third, what I would call near-death experience that we had. So my brother helps me out with the books for the business, and my brother called me on that morning and he said, Craig, we got a bunch of invoices to pay today and there's not enough money in the bank account. It was just like a slap across the face. This time it wasn't lockdown related. We were out of lockdown. I'd built a team. The top line was growing, but the bottom wasn't. I was completely exhausted after all the different lockdowns and trying to juggle everything. I'd actually taken my hand off the tiller. I was doing a bit of management by application. But this time around, I couldn't blame this situation on COVID or external factors. This one was on me. I needed a breakthrough, but I didn't know what to break. I've run billion-dollar businesses. I've been CEOs of startups. I've grown things. I should be able to run something like this, or so I thought. Now, that's when I turned to a mentor, and he said something to me that I will never forget. He said to me, Craig, you are trying to do everything. But you know what? Frank Sinatra doesn't move pianos. He knows exactly what his role is. It's out on stage, out the front, doing what he does, and he has people to do the rest. You need to get really clear on what your role is in the business, and then you need to make sure that everybody is doing things the way you want it. That was just the shot in the arm. That was just the clarity that I needed. I know how to run businesses. I know about strategy. I know about marketing, sales, and operations process, leadership, management, the whole lot. I just wasn't using all of that. I got really clear on what I was best at in the business, what my role was. I made time to work on the business rather than just in the business. I didn't want to get another surprise to find out that we didn't have enough money in the bank. I should have known that. I should have been way ahead of that. The rest of the team really organised in terms of roles and goals and the way that we do things. We got clear on business strategy. We got clear on those roles and goals. We got clear on process, my way, as Frankie would have said it. I got really clear on how we were going to grow, so I got sales and marketing organised. And then finally, the 5th thing, I got our own management processes in place so that I was able to be on the business. And I put together a 12-month roadmap to put these things in place, because this stuff doesn't happen overnight. And guess what? Within 3 months, we were breaking even. Within 6 months, we were back in the black. And within 12 months, we were back to where we'd been pre-COVID in terms of profit. By 18 months, we were all-time high, more profitable than we had ever been. But on top of that, guess what? BAS statements. They used to be the bane of my life. BAS statements, they're now a joy. Yep, they're like a scorecard. I also have an asset with real value. Did you know that an operator business is valued at about 2.5 times EBITDA, whereas a business under management, that's valued at 4 to 5 times EBITDA. So not only was I able to grow the value of my business just by increasing the income, on top of that, I doubled that larger value by turning it into a business under management, by transforming it into a business beyond me. But you know what? Way more important than that, I've got my life back. I'm not working stupid hours. I'm not receiving phone calls during dinner. I don't have to take laptops and phones and things to kids' sporting events and worry about all of that. All of that is under control and well managed. I live life on my terms now. That is the real benefit of doing it. I have my time back. Now, people noticed the change. People started asking me how I was able to do this. So I started helping some other business owners that I know out. Like Mark. Mark's a really successful entrepreneur. He's built, grown, and sold multiple businesses over his life. He had this relatively new one that was going gangbusters until it wasn't. Now, I'm not saying it was going badly, but the growth slowed and then basically stopped. And the bottleneck was him. Everything was heading across his desk. When he wasn't involved in it, it didn't necessarily work. And then he had to rush here, rush there, and fix it up. I started working with him, and within 8 weeks, I helped him make one strategic hire and make a few changes to some processes and the way he does things and change his role in the business, and it flipped everything on its head. He reduced his working hours in the business by 15 to 20 hours per week, unlocked the growth again, it started growing, but more importantly than that, he was in a position for the first time in quite a long time to be able to take a proper holiday. In fact, he's just returned from a 2-month driving trip around Australia with his wife and their caravan. Now that is freedom. That is living life on his terms. That is what it looks like to have a business beyond you. I'd proven it worked for us in as little as 8 weeks, and that was also amazingly fulfilling for me. Now, I decided to get really serious about helping business owners. So I created the Hopper Method. As I said, in as little as 8 weeks through this method, where I help people get really clear about what they should be doing and help them get the rest of it organised and put together that roadmap for transforming their business into a business beyond them, I'm able to completely change the way that they work with their business and also allow them to live life on their terms. That brings us to the end of episode 1. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like more, please get along to the website.com. That's where you can find out about my book, Business Beyond You. You can get a hold of a copy there. I invite you to come along to Freedom Fridays. It's a webinar we run every Friday where I work with super busy business owners like you and share some of the secrets that really helped me turn things around and make that first breakthrough in my business. It's free for people to come along. Everybody who attends gets bonus material, templates, things they can practically use in the week following. I'll even invite you back for a follow-up session, or just reach out. My details are there as well. I'd also invite you to listen to the next episode when it comes out, where I will be talking about what it is that holds business owners back, what it is that holds you back from getting to a business beyond you, and what you can do about it. Thanks very much for listening.